Okay, so I wanted to start with unpacking our stories, but also just bring us together in community and circle up, because that is when I get the most inspired, is when we're all together. And so I'm curious if anyone has really broken down their story before, and what that looks like. So our story is really the foundation of our entire business. I mean, stories are what relate and connect to people. They're what actually sells product. It's what, it's emotional. It's so many things. It builds your community. So I really love to lead my entire business based on stories, and that's sharing my own story and then sharing the stories of everyone in my organization, and in our team. And I also thought it'd be great for everyone to connect, because you can interview each other, and hear and learn each other's stories. Hey, Sarah. Good to see you. So I also want to kind of share some of the highlights on our company story. And a few of the highlights are that we've been around for 17 years as a company. We manufacture our own products, which is huge. That's why we can reduce the cost so much. We're privately owned. We were organic before organic. We're actually the reason that there's an organic label and an organic standard, because Dave and Amy were part of a group that brought that to really fought for that in the courts to make sure that people could have access to real foods. We're one of the only clinically proven solutions to get glyphosate out of the body. We also have an activist arm, which is the Million Mom Movement, which is protecting the future of our children. And so that's our nonprofit. We have a commitment to the planet, really working with rebuilding our soil health and going plastic free. I don't know of any companies that are taking that initiative to really lead the way with going plastic free. So that's huge. And we even came up with our own home compostable packaging, which is a big step up from companies that do have compostable. A lot of them are just industrial compostable. So those are a few of the key highlights of what separates our company from others. And then I wanted to go and dive into our personal health story and follow it up with our business story. So curious if there's any volunteers that want to go first. I do want to help each person to unpack their story, and we'll get to as many people as we can, but any volunteers to start?
I can go.
Awesome.
So I actually wrote something, and I'm happy to adjust it and change it if I need to. So you can let me know how I did on this one.
Okay.
So should I just read what I put? Or do you just want me to share from?
I want to make this duplicatable for everybody so that they can teach their team to do it as well. Start with, I'll ask and walk you through, and then you can share your story as well at the end. Okay. And I can get back. Okay. So starting with your health story, what product did you start with Purium?
The Ultimate Lifestyle Transformation.
Yay. And why did you incorporate it into your life or your practice?
Because I aligned with the values of having food grown in regenerative soil, and wanted to experience a biomedic to get glyphosate out and the cherry juice. I just wanted to experience the whole transformation, since I've had experience with cleansing in the past.
Mm-hmm. And what did you notice?
Feeling more nourished, more satisfied, got more gunk out. And felt like this was really doable to help bring into my own practice to help others.
Mm-hmm. Awesome. I love it. So that's kind of just with stories, I like to keep them like 30 seconds to 90 seconds, and product is kind of short and sweet, but just kind of 3 points, why did you start? What inspired you to start? And what difference did you notice? So, oh, there's Brittany. So I know with Carrie, this was really kind of an integration that you wanted to bring into your community. And you can go ahead and share your story, Carrie, because I know you have your launch call today, and I'd love to give it some feedback.
Yeah, and I haven't even like written that out, but I wrote one out from a post. And did you want me to read that?
Mm-hmm. Yeah, go for it.
So I just wrote, most of my life, I was a people pleaser at the cost of my own authenticity and happiness. I worked unfulfilling jobs out of comfort. I always knew there was more out of life for me. After years in the massage field, working hours for dollars, I got clear that I wanted to help more people on a deeper level. I decided to further my education and become a holistic health coach and regenerative detox specialist. This education changed my entire life. I finally had the tools I needed to help people thrive. My work as a regenerative detox specialist was incredibly rewarding, but also very challenging. One of my first cases was a woman with Hashimoto's and lupus and experienced over 5 miscarriages. She was able to reverse every diagnosis and recently birthed 2 new babies in a row and is now helping many people transform their health. It was stories like this that kept me going. But at the end of the day, I can only help so many people. And I was working hours for dollars away from kids. I started to realize that my work was unsustainable in this way. I was limited in the amount of people I could help and the amount of money I could make and the amount of time I had to spend. About a year ago, the woman that helped me heal or that I helped heal from lupus and Hashimoto shared with me an incredible platform and protocol that was helping her clients heal faster, thrive with ease, and allowing her to help more people in less time and build residual wealth. I was blown away by the company's values and mission to support regenerative health, regenerative agriculture, planetary health, and the redistribution of wealth. I decided to link arms with this mission, and I couldn't be happier. We are now able to support hundreds of people at a time, and I can do this from my home, the park with my son, or from the beach. And then I just said, if you're out there and want to feel better in your body, live more of the beat of your own drum, maximize your physical and financial health, I'd love to share what I'm up to. It's truly life-changing.
That was so beautiful. That was exactly on point with our story timeline. I loved every piece of it, and I really don't have any more packaging to do for it because you packaged it so beautifully. Yeah, Sarah, that's beautiful, Carrie. And she really started with what she did for a living, what she loved about it, what she didn't love about it, how Purium has been a solution for her. And yeah, I loved it. It was completely perfect. It was short and sweet and to the point and beautiful. So great, Carrie. You did a great job.
Oh, thanks. And so for the launch, should I share something like that? But
Yeah, I shared that
okay.
story. Mm-hmm.
Okay.
It's perfect. Mm-hmm.
And
And real, just
yeah.
one piece of
Mhm.
is I know that we are working with helping people to heal, but in correlation to the products, we can't make any claims, so we can't say the
Oh
word
yeah, that's
heal.
right. Yeah.
So I would just you can keep that part in the beginning with Carrie and helping her, but once you transition into the products and our platform and our company, you'll just have to like say restore or something different.
I'll make a note. Yeah.
And the
Just
reason for impacts our company because there's such strict regulations out there.
yeah,
Mm-hmm.
no, thanks for that reminder. I have to be mindful of my words a lot.
Mm-hmm, mm-hmm. Yeah, that's part of why I wanted to do this as well, just so we can like really clean up our language. Beautiful. Thanks, Carrie. Does anybody else want to go next? Either unpacking your health or business story.
I'll go next. And I also have a question. Are there other like words that we need to avoid or yeah?
Oh, that's so good. I mean, primarily we just can't say heal, like we can't make any claims. I healed this or so really, I mean, you can state true facts of whatever has happened. But we just can't say like, oh, this will heal your diabetes or this will heal that. I mean, it does reverse people's diabetes. We have amazing success with it. But we can just say like people have had success and here were their results, you know, without making a claim.
Cool.
Mm-hmm.
Cool.
Awesome. Go for it.
So
Do you want to do health first and then business?
I think so. Yeah.
Okay, awesome. So Lindsay, what did you start with in your perium journey?
I started with the core 4.
Mm-hmm.
And I just kind of dabbled a little bit. And I was actually traveling when I started and already, you know, pretty tired and stretched thin. And so I didn't notice any results until I had come home and I was, you know, back to my regular sleeping, and I was pretty new. I've been like a mountain adventurista for almost 20 years, but I was pretty new to mountain biking. And I was riding with a friend who used to be a competitive mountain biker, and I kept like passing it, like kicking his ass on the uphills. And he just, I mean, downhill was a totally different story, but going uphill, you know, even there were some other guys like fit men in tights, you know, the serious riders, and I was passing everyone. And my friend like gets up to the top and like, "How, what are you doing? How are you doing this?" And I was like, "Oh my gosh, I'm taking this stuff," and it started working. So I really noticed like big changes in my physical athletic performance.
Awesome. And were you looking for, did you have any kind of things that you were trying to address when you started, or any needs before?
I thought I was as healthy as a human being could be, and I really had no expectations. I just you know, heard about these products and trusted the source, and so I didn't have any, I wasn't looking for anything.
Mm-hmm. And I know your story, but who did you hear about the products from and why did you trust that?
Oh my gosh, my most amazing, inspiring soul sister, Rita Jean, who just always has a pulse on what's healthy. And, you know, she's got her own healing story. So I completely trust where she's coming from because I know she's really well researched. And really what resonated with me when we spoke was the plastic free initiative. So I heard organic, I heard regenerative, but I was hooked by the plastic free movement.
Amazing. And what changes have you seen since incorporating this in?
I mean, my skin is so clear. I sleep well. I notice my, you know, I'm very sensitive with digesting food. So I know when, like right now, I'm kind of struggling with some impulsive decisions that I made a couple days ago. And I know exactly what it was because I feel so clear in my body and mind that I can make those connections easy. As far as athletic performance, my recovery time is like nil, and I almost force myself to take rest days because my body feels so good all the time. My yoga practice, there's like stiffness isn't even a thing. Even if I skip a couple days, you know, it takes me maybe 30 seconds to get, you know, back to a strong dog pose. Is that enough? I mean, there's so many.
So beautiful. Awesome. So I'm just going to reflect this back to you kind of packaged. So I thought I was as healthy as a human being could be. I love that as like your opening line because it's like it grabs your attention and it's true. It's honest. I had heard about these products from a friend who I really trust. what really caught my eye and attention was that they were going plastic free. And you can share a little bit, like one sentence on your backstory, like coming from a product industry where I saw the amount of waste. This is huge to me, you know, like really, you can share that story of how much that emphasis that is for you in like one or two sentences. Though I didn't think I needed any additional health support, I was blown away by my results. I was passing friends up on the bike trail. I've noticed my recovery time and my athletics is nil. Like I'd have to force myself to take rest days. My skin is clear. I sleep well. I have experienced zero stiffness in my body during my yoga practice. And then I would just end with one sentence of gratitude of why you're grateful this has come into your life, just to sum it up.
Awesome. Thanks.
Yeah, definitely. And let's do you want to, actually, let's go through a couple more people on the health story and then we'll jump and circle back to you on the business. Perfect. One more health story, one or two
Can
more
I do
health.
my health story unless someone's itching?
Go for it, Yoj.
Okay. So should I go by the questions we've been asking or?
Yeah, what inspired you to get into Purium as far as the health side goes?
So what inspired me, well, actually the business is what inspired me first. So, but what
Great.
inspired me in the health side of things was that
Oh, sorry. What did you start?
I started with the Core 4. And I had been extremely sick, pregnant with my son to the point where I could just barely get out of bed and move around. I was very weak. I got malaria 3 times in West Africa, and I kind of needed a miracle if I was going to have a home birth and be there for my son. His father wasn't here either because he was stuck. So I just needed all the help I could get. And I have such a hard time sharing my story.
I know. Yeah, go ahead.
Yeah. So I started with the Core 4 so I decided like this was like Rita had reached out to me 6 months ago and this was it. Like I was either gonna make it or not, make it work or not. So yeah. And
then what differences did you notice in your body, Yoj?
So I initially noticed, let me see. What I initially noticed was that I had more energy. And like before, I could barely like take the groceries out of the car. I could barely, like I would just sleep for hours. And I could notice that like I could not only take the groceries out of the car, but I started being able to shovel like for, as much as I could. I was in my 3rd trimester at the time and I was taking walks and that's initially the question was, what did you notice, right?
Yeah. Yep.
And then, that's initially what I noticed. And then I also noticed, which is like a big part of why I do the work, is that actually a lot of the therapeutic work that I've been doing and a lot of the trauma work, everything started just being able to release a lot more quickly than it ever had before in my life. And I was just noticing like mental health work is directly tied to that. And that was big for me as someone who's a licensed clinician.
Yeah. I love that. So your story, and I know it's like a deep and hard story too, so we can kind of we can share your story without sharing it all, right? So I started my health journey with these products because I was feeling extremely sick. I had been exposed to malaria 3 times while I was pregnant, and I could barely get out of bed. I was always tired, and it was hard for me to even bring the groceries out of the car. So I was, desperately looking for a solution because I wanted to have a healthy home birth. My friend Rita introduced me to these products. She's someone that I really trust, and you can share a little background. She's a regenerative detox specialist, or we worked together with at-risk youth, so, whatever it is. And what I found is I started to have more energy. And what really caught my eye as a therapist, as a clinical therapist, sorry, I'm kind of butchering this, but as a clinical therapist, what really caught my eye was the connection between nutrition and emotional work and trauma healing. And I started to realize that I was going much deeper in my own therapy and trauma healing. And this is so important to me as, a clinician. And so then I would tie it together at the end of just a little bit of that's your story, which was what was hard, and then what were some of the solutions, and then tying it to that purpose mission a little bit, of how important as a clinician it is for you to be working in these ways and connecting the dots, because it's a missing piece.
That was amazing. Thank you.
Thank you, Yoj. Okay, one more health one. Anybody want to share?
I would like to talk a little bit about it because I don't have in my personal story these are amazing stories that everyone is sharing, and I don't have anything huge to share in this way. So what would you recommend?
It's the little thing. Yeah, it really is the little things. I mean, it doesn't have to be a big, huge thing, but I remember watching your journey and your story as you're going, and you're like, oh my God, I woke up for the first time, my eyes aren't puffy. And, so just sleeping better is huge. More mental clarity is huge. I would say the biggest complaint that people are dealing with right now, there was a big poll that was conducted. It was distraction, people feeling overwhelmed and distracted, so let's just start with what you started with in your program, and then what you noticed.
Okay. I started with the ULT.
Okay. And what inspired you to do a transformation?
I wanted to clean up my diet and lose a little weight, and one of my best friends, Cooper, had been using it and just raving and raving about how amazing she felt. And so I was like, well, I want to feel that amazing. That sounds fun.
Love that. And what did you notice?
Well, I did lose some weight, although most of it has come back now that I eat normally again. But I guess my eyes were not as puffy in the mornings. I did feel very clear-headed. I guess I just felt more bright. I don't know, it's a little bit hard to describe.
I love that.
I remember being out socializing. We went to this there's this big annual countrywide party in France, and it's a big drinking holiday, and I was completely sober, and I was right at the tail end of my 30 days, so I was feeling real good. And I remember just feeling really sparkly and full of energy, and just able to talk to everybody. And that was actually really interesting in the sense of seeing how being clear-headed is actually more like it helps socializing more than alcohol can help. So I guess.
I like that. That's beautiful. And how was that period of taking everything out for you?
It was pretty easy. I mean, I had cravings, but they went away pretty fast. I mean, it was a big time saver. I really liked that about the 30 days, only having to prepare one meal a day.
Hmm. And did you feel satisfied, like you were getting everything you needed?
Yeah. I'm trying to think back now, but yeah, I think I felt really good. Yeah.
Awesome. I think even just the time saver is like one of the biggest selling points alone.
Yeah.
So you could say, I was wanting to clean up my diet and lose a little bit of weight. And my best friend Cooper introduced me to these amazing products that she was just raving about. And I wanted to feel as good as she did. So I added it into my life. I lost some weight. I lost some, probably some inflammation. I think I remember you losing. I had puffiness under my eyes. I felt so clear-headed and bright and sparkly and full of energy. And it was an interesting reflection for me to see how feeling clear-headed actually allowed me to connect more deeply with people than alcohol, because that's kind of like, aha moment. A lot of people would be like, that's an interesting point. I want to experience that. It was so easy to add into my life and was a huge time saver. And I felt so satisfied. And then I just ended up with like a closing, again, gratitude of how this has impacted you.
Okay. Thank you.
Yeah. Perfect. Short and sweet and beautiful. Awesome. So now I want to hop into the business story, and curious if anybody wants to go first on that. I'll walk you through some prompts.
I'll go if nobody else wants to.
Hi.
Hi.
Good to
Can you
see
hear me okay?
I can. And your health story is amazing if you want to share it with anybody.
Oh, yeah, well, this was just an answer to prayer for me. I started with the ULT, but I wanted to really give myself an opportunity to find what I was looking for. So I went for 90 days instead of 30. And I was still nursing my 10-month-old baby. So I never have yet to do the parasite portion, but I just went all in, went plant-based for 90 days and went from probably an average of 6 to 8 or more migraines a month down to reduced it. Now it's been 7 months of down probably 95%. I sleep through the night. My back pain is gone. I get choked up. Yeah, just a lot of ailments. We talk about what we think is normal, but it's really only common. So just filling I feel like I gave myself an opportunity to fill my cup before I could pour out to others. And now it's such a blessing. You hear on the airplane, put your own oxygen mask on before assisting others. And that really is what this was for me. It gave me my health back. So yeah, it's been great.
Cool. Thanks for sharing. That's amazing.
Yeah, thanks, Rita.
Yay. So let's unpack your business story. So what do you do for a living?
I have been a nurse for 10 years.
And what do you love about it?
I love helping people, serving others, and meeting people in their time of need.
Beautiful. And what don't you need, or what don't you love about it?
Well, I've learned so much over the last year. Sorry, it's loud in my house. There's construction, but I don't love that it's Western healthcare has become, it's not person focused. It's hard to put that into words, but it's not mind, body, and spirit. It's very limited.
Mhm.
It's very external focused rather than internal focused, I guess. It's limited options, I think, is a big part of it as well.
Were you seeing the results that you wanted? No.
No, I would often refer patients in the urgent care to chiropractors and naturopaths, knowing that there's more. And we didn't have the resources to provide and the education to provide these people in need. And the despair was really real. It's very sad.
Yeah. And how has Purium been a solution, or how has it made a difference in your life?
I love the education behind it. It gives people choice and control. It allows people to take their health back in a life-giving way. Sorry, Rita, can you say the question again?
Yeah. How has Purium made a difference in your life on the business side, on the impact side?
Business side.
Mhm.
Yeah. It's allowed me to offer holistic solutions to everyday needs. And I'm seeing it before my eyes, from kids to postpartum to athletic performance to older adults. It really has bridged it's been the missing link in people's health.
Yeah.
On business, sorry, I just get so focused on it's just been so powerful,
Yeah.
But for business, it's allowed me to, I am able to fully stand behind the work that's being done. Whereas I wouldn't ever say, oh yeah, go get this drug or this injection when I didn't believe in it.
Mhm.
And I can be anywhere. I can be in my dining room while my baby is upstairs sleeping, and help people reach their goals wherever I want to be.
Mhm. I love that. And I really love the kind of sense of reward and fulfillment it's giving you. Awesome. So I'm just going to reflect this back to you. So I've been a nurse practitioner for over 10 years. I love helping people. I love being of service. I love meeting people in a time of need. What has been hard or frustrating about the work is that there's limited options, and I would often find myself referring patients out to gain more education and to, alternative resources and naturopathic doctors and chiropractors to address more of the holistic approach of mind, body, and spirit. And I guess to kind of shorten that and summarize it is I just wasn't seeing the results I wanted to see as far as my ability to help people. and the despair was real. I've now aligned with a company that gives people a choice. It gives them control back in their lives to take their own health back into their hands. This is something that I completely align with and can wholeheartedly recommend. I've seen such great results with everyday needs, from kids to postpartum to athletic performance. This has been such a gift to my life because I'm able to fully stand behind this work, and it gives me location independence and time freedom so that I'm able to be with my family. Yeah. Oh, love you, Katie. Super sweet. You're doing such beautiful work in the world. So grateful for you. So yeah, tapping into that purpose, that reward. Awesome. Okay. Does anyone else want to share or want to be walked through your business story?
I'll say something. I mean, I'm still kind of getting going, so I'm sure mine will change. But yeah, hold on one second to plug. Yeah.
Okay, awesome, Haley. So this is great that you're in the beginning of your business and you can start your business story even on day one, just so people know. So Haley, what do you do for a living?
Massage.
Awesome. And how long have you done it for?
6 years.
And what do you love about it?
I love obviously like helping people. That's big and huge. I also really just love the human body. So just problem solving with people is like a real big joy for me. Unfortunately, I'm kind of getting to the point where my body, it's taking a huge toll on my body, and I can feel that happening. I want to make more money, but I just have like kind of been in this place recently where I'm like, what do I do? And I've had certain ideas, but I've been excited about, but I've never acted on them. So I've kind of just been like waiting.
Mm-hmm. And so basically you can only make money if your hands are on somebody's body. $1 per hour. Yep. And then you kind of shared what you don't like about it. Is there anything else that you don't like about it?
Yes. So like people come in and they feel good, and I can recommend them do certain things. Like a lot of it is like we need to relax certain muscles and elongate, and then also strengthen. And I feel like I have a very limited, like I don't want to, it's hard because there's so much more, even with Pilates and other things that I'm like aware of, but I don't want to overextend myself. And so I guess what I don't like about it is I sometimes feel like it has its box, and if as long as I don't overextend myself, like I kind of have to stay within that, and that goes for income as well.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. And are you finding that people are coming back with kind of the same problems and issues?
sort of like, so like a lot of times I can work with people and I'm like, okay, we've isolated, this is what works for you. And then they also go see physical therapists. And then I kind of work in conjunction with that. And that's like my ideal best case scenario. Cause then they do that part of the,
Okay.
but then I would say like a lot of times people come in and they're like, oh, I'm still not sleeping. Like a massage is an emotional dump. And I do feel sometimes like a hairstylist where I'm like, wow, these people just get on the table and just talk. And so I'm constantly hearing about like, I'm tired, or I have diverticulosis and it's been flaring up, or, you know, blah, 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 blah. And I'm like, you know, I have my own gut issues. I'm not, or before this, like I wasn't really solving my own problems. So I was like, I don't know what to recommend to anyone else. So yeah, like I was just being stopped from like helping further.
Yeah. And how has how has this business made a difference?
Well, I'm actually like people are psyched on it, you know, it's not really been hard to get people interested in it. I guess people are interested. And I think sometimes it just takes people a little bit to like, you know, you guys talk about exposure things. But just to be able to help in ways that just feels really rewarding. And I will agree with Katie too. It's like the education piece around it for me has been fantastic. Like just learning so much every single day and then passing that knowledge, those videos on to clients and to people who like to them, they feel like they hit a wall. Like they don't know what else to do with their own health. And yeah, so it's been good to get out there and then to shop differently, treat their food differently.
And then how else has it impacted you on the business side?
So I think I'm still like growing on that, but I think at least like my products are getting paid for, and possibly more. I'm gonna have to go and like, I haven't really like added it all up yet, but it is nice to know that, you know, it's like I could recommend somebody buy a certain shoe for running, but I'm not getting percentage from that, you know, and this is like so foundational to people's health. And it's been really cool. Like, I feel like I've already had some like unique situations and people and like requests and things. And it's been great to just learn and add that value. And so like I added up before I started this, I had charts, like what I was paying for Purium on this side, because I'd been watching all of your videos and I knew I had my own health issues. And so for me, I know what I was spending before, and I know that it wasn't doing anything. And so at least I'm to the point where I'm getting product paid for, and, you know, and also sharing that knowledge with others.
And what you're also building into the future is time freedom, location independent, sustainable business model.
Yeah.
You can also where you're headed. And are there any specific goals that you have that you want to get to with Purium, or that you want to create in your life?
Yeah, I mean, I want to get to the point where I can replace my massage income and more.
Yes. Yep. And what's your goal for that? What's your why for that?
So that I can have movement in my hands for the rest of my life. And I don't know that I would ever not want to do massage. I think that like if I even cut down to like 2 days a week and shared an office with somebody, like that could be really interested versus doing 5 days a week.
Yeah. I'm gonna help you dream a little bit bigger here too. If you were making 20 to 30K a month, would you still be doing massage?
Yes, but very limited.
Great. And what else would you be doing?
Well, I suppose I'd have more free time.
Mhm. Keep working on deepening that why, like do a little journal of like, where would this bring me? What would I do if I did have unlimited resources? What would I spend my time doing? Who would I give it to? What would I create in the world? You know, where would I live? What would my house look like? You know, really start dreaming on that. And that will be kind of like a foundational piece of your why. And that why is what's going to fuel your business.
Gotcha. Cool.
Mm-hmm. Cool. So I have been a massage therapist for 6 years. I absolutely love helping people. I love the anatomy of the human body and helping people, you know, I'm a problem solver. So helping people in that way is wonderful. However, it's been taking a huge toll on my body, and unless I'm working on somebody, you know, and it is in the dollars per hour model. So if I don't have clients, then I'm not getting paid, which isn't always sustainable. I feel that I'm able to positively impact people, but clients will often come and hit a wall looking for some deeper solutions, some holistic solutions. I partnered with an amazing company, and who introduced it? I know who introduced it to you, but what inspired you, or like what caught your attention about it? Oh, you're on mute.
Yeah, so I kind of like got to this point where I had seen a naturopath doctor. I had gone to the doctor. They prescribed me IBS so many times. And then the last time I went to them, I told them I had colon cancer, and I told them that, I mean, I'm sort of dramatic, but like I Googled things before. So that's kind of how that went. And then I was convinced I had rheumatoid arthritis because my cousin got it in her 30s. And so I was like, that's it. Like I had inflammation everywhere. My joints hurt and I had zero energy. You know, I don't even think I was able to like really like put muscle on anymore. Like it got to the point where I was so exhausted at the end of every day, and I had terrible bowel issues, and it just had gotten worse. So I called Lindsay and I was like, Lindsay, I want to talk Purium, because I actually truly deep down didn't want to like it. And I had created lists of all these things and prices and looked at the nutritional quality. And then finally I was just like, I need to call her. And so I started with the Core 4.
Mm-hmm.
Actually ordered more green powder like right away. So I was like, I want to take 2 of these a day.
Yeah.
So, and I saw results right away with my digestive. So
Mm-hmm.
yeah, Lindsay. Yeah.
You have a powerful health story, and I would definitely write that up. And for anyone here, like the best results I've seen on the health story is do a picture of yourself, because that gets the most response, because people want to see you, and then share your story, you know, what you were struggling with, why you were seeking out solutions. Now you have everything that you said. So I was, you know, dealing with XYZ. I was afraid that I had, you know, colon cancer and, rheumatoid arthritis, and XY, like all of what you just shared, you know, I couldn't put on muscle. I was feeling exhausted. And then I was watching my dear friend, Lindsay, who's been inspiring me in her health journey. And I realized that what she had is so important. And I looked at the difference between my supplements of what I was getting and how much I was paying for them, and then this company, and I was shocked at how superior these were. So I decided to give it a try. And here's what I noticed, you know, and then share all of your breakthroughs that you've had. So that's a powerful health story. I would start with that. And then maybe a few days later, or, you know, the next week, I would do your business story as your second piece. And again, do a picture of you that's like really relatable, and do it in a post, like a stagnant post. And then this is something that you can continue to share all the different pieces of your story in your stories. You know, because if we're storytelling each day, we're connecting and relating with our community and sharing little bits and pieces. But I would also do a post of each of these, your business and your health. So back to your business story. You were a massage therapist for 6 years. You absolutely love it because you love to help people, but you weren't finding it was sustainable on your body or financially, and you wanted to help people in a deeper way. And then you were introduced to a company and you realized that it had not only been a huge solution in your life, but it could help so many other people. And what you're finding is that people are absolutely loving it. And it's not only helping you to create more financial freedom, it's also helping you to dream bigger and create time freedom for yourself. And I would go deeper into your why of like first dreaming what your deeper why is, and then speaking a little bit on where I'm headed is time freedom and location independence and doing work that isn't so demanding on my body. And that's your story for right now. And then as we grow and evolve, your story will change. So we can repackage your story later, but this is your current story. Yeah.
You.
Yep. Awesome. So we just have a few more minutes. I can do one more quick story, or we can kind of ask questions, summarize, and recap. Up to you guys. Does anybody have any questions?
I have a question.
Mm-hmm.
So my question is, when you are is this something that you would do with interviewing someone who's on your downline, like doing a live? I think you might have just mentioned that.
Mm-hmm.
And then would you do that in this format? Like how would you go about that?
Yeah.
That up.
Sharing your story and sharing each other's story. You know, I would do at least one live a week of sharing somebody's story and interviewing them and just asking, like, you know, what were you struggling with? Like, you know, what did you start with in your transformation program? And what were you struggling with and why? What inspired you to do it? You know, and these stories will come out and you can kind of practice with them, or you can do it off the cuff, but understanding their why of why they did it is huge, because some people, it's like they really trusted their friend and they're like, oh, or the plastic, oh, and you know, oh, I needed a solution for this. So getting that story out, and then what they've seen as a result. So yeah, you can definitely use this in a live format, and I'll share the questions in the feeds.
Okay, that would be great. And I guess with that as well, it just slipped my mind. But I was wondering, it just went out of my head. Oh, I know. So I started with the core 4, and I did that mostly for financial reasons. I wish I had, like, still to this day, I wish, like, I want to do the ULT. I want to do the ULT. And I think it would have been really powerful to have done that. Would you still share that in that way? Like, I started with the core 4, and then, or how would you like kind of coach and also coach your downline? Like, if someone says I started with the ULT, should they just say that, or should it be kind of more descriptive? Or
no, they can say ULT, like I started with the ULT, or I started with a 30-day program.
Okay.
Oops. Educate if I had these experiences, how much? Yeah. And I think, you know, with your downline, you can just let them know, like, hey, I started with the core 4, but I wish I would have started with the ULT, and here's why. And that's more like for helping people to enroll and such. Like, I really recommend starting with a ULT or the ULT plus performance, because it gives people that whole experience. So yeah, no, it's kind of just like your learning piece and your spokes piece. Any other questions? I know we just have like one more minute. Hi, Kai. He's so cute. Hey, buddy. Yay. Well, was this helpful for everyone? This is something that you can definitely, even on day of enrollment, start to help people with their stories. That would be kind of one of my first steps, like on day of enrollment, helping people to share a gift card, like within their first 48 hours, whether it's friends or family, just thinking of somebody that they want to do this with, because it's so good to do it with somebody, like have that accountability, and then helping them with their story, you know, and we can start with like their health story and then we can move on to their business story. Yay. And then everyone here, you know, we can cross collaborate and interview each other live. So thank you, everyone.
Yeah,
And
thanks, Rita.
Thanks, Rita.
yeah, thank you all.
Thank you so
Awesome.
much, Rita.
Thank you.
Thank
Thank you.
Thanks everyone for sharing your stories. It was really beautiful.